Hi, my name is Jeff. Welcome back to my workshop. We're going to continue working on the Caboose with the decals. As you can see, I trimmed out the decals from the decal sheet using a straight edge and a number 11 blade in my hobby knife to get as close to the edge of the decal as possible. That eliminates the amount of decal film that can show through the paint on the finished model. So I just let this soak. I'm using distilled water. About 10 seconds is good, and then I set it on a paper towel so it can come loose from the backing sheet. While that's doing that, I'm going to take some microscale micro set and apply that to the area of the model where the decal will go. And that will help the decal settle into place right where it needs to be on the model. It'll also help eliminate air bubbles in the decal. While I'm doing this, if you haven't seen the first part where we disassembled and painted the model, please follow the link to my Railroad Basics playlist. You'll find that part 1 on the playlist. You'll also find part 3 there after it posts the day after this video has gone up. Okay, as you saw when I tried to apply the decal, it did tear, so I had to float the parts into position to get them to line up. And now we can do the railroad name on the letterboard. This one will be a little easier because it's just a straight decal. It's not odd shaped the way the logo is. So again, I've already soaked the decal in the distilled water, and it's sitting on the paper towel. Now I'm applying the micro set. And I use distilled water so we don't leave any mineral stains behind on the decals that can show up as white spots on the model. So with the micro set in place, we can now grab the decal and take it off the backing paper, start sliding off the backing paper and then into place on the model. You know, if I need to nudge anything into position, I can do that with a toothpick before the distilled water and the micro set evaporate. Okay, the next step is going to be to add the numbers to the model. This car is going to be numbered 247. And as you see, as I start working on this, the first set of numbers I cut out, as I looked at them, I felt they were too small for the model. So before they settled onto the model, I actually removed them and cut out new decals and replaced them with a larger number set. And the reason I chose 247 is because the decal set I used had new numbers in order and also a double set of random numbers. And within that random number set, I found a number 47, and then I just needed a single 2, and it's a Caboose number we do not have on the club's rosters yet, so that is the new one for this Caboose. Okay, and there's the model with the correct number in place. Now I just have to do the other side. I'm also going to apply microsalt to the decals. This is a stronger setting solution that'll soften the decals and get them to really snuggle down. As you can see here, we've done that, and we're going to start assembly on these by installing the window glazing. So I am using canopy glue and some very thin clear plastic for my glazing. I pre-cut that to size for the different windows and door windows I need. So I'm just applying the canopy glue with a toothpick around the openings, and then I've got a single piece of plastic for each side of the cupola. In this case for the short edge, and it's pre-cut, so we can just bring it into place and drop it in and then press it down. I'm not too worried if a little bit of the canopy glue oozes out. The nice thing about canopy glue is that it dries clear, so you won't notice it unless you really look closely. And as you see, some did ooze out there, but as I said, you won't see it on the final model because it will dry clear. And I will grab the next piece. This is a longer piece, so it'll go on the long edge. And again, just get some canopy glue between the windows, above and below them, and along the outsides, and then we can drop the window glazing into place. Now I will continue doing that and get the other two sides of the cupola done, and I will be back when we're ready to start working on the main part of the body. Okay, with the cupola done, as you can see, I got all four of them in there and it's drying, and even where we got some glue on the front of the window, it's cleared up as it's drying. So now we're going to do the same thing within the car body. We'll start with the doors on the ends, and again I pre-cut the plastic and just double checking to make sure it will cover the door, and then I can take some of the canopy glue and just apply it around the edge of the window that's in the middle of the door. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, with the two doors done, now we can turn our attention to the side windows. And again, I pre-cut the plastic I need. We're just going to take the canopy glue again, and with the toothpick, just apply it around the opening we're going to use this in. And then set the plastic in place. And I use tweezers to do that, partially because it's easier to get tweezers in than my big fingers, and secondly because the tweezers won't leave fingerprints on the window. And I would just do the same thing with the other 7 windows. Okay, with that done, this will wrap up this project. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, or if you've learned something from it, please make sure you give this a good thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will answer them. And I will be back in part 3, where we will finish the assembly and weather the car. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me.